have never gone live on YouTube. And but however, inside of culture, there is a lot to there's a lot of shadow in it. And as a minority woman, I know my culture is riddled with colonial shadows, riddled with a lot of you can't do's, or you shouldn't do, or that's not right to do if you're a woman, if you're female. And I've sort of broken through all those barriers, right? But then when you do that, you wind up in this sort of hinterland of a place when you refuse to have children, when you refuse to be married, when you refuse to work 9 to 5, and you really have gone it alone for your whole life. It's not I'm not trying to compete with women who have made other decisions. I'm trying to not compete, but to complete the story of womanhood, complete the story, the other side of the sword. You know what I'm saying? This is what it's like on the other side. I'll be 48 on Friday. So having done all those things and coming to the age of 48, it's no longer a choice for me to have children, right? If I get married, I'm still going to be getting married for the first time late in life or later in life. So these other spaces that I passed through and rejected tradition in as many ways as possible. And so when you reject tradition of your culture and you're a woman, you wind up in a hinterland of an experience. And there are real consequences there for you. And you really don't have a lot of references. You can patchwork references. There are a lot of other women who have existed before you who've done this kind of thing. But they're not presented to you in a mainstream way, right? You have to go searching for these references. You come to see certain things that other women who have not made those kinds of decisions don't come to necessarily see. They can, but not through their direct experience. They can see it sort of second and third hand from over here, you know. And I don't know, there's a real loneliness in that place. And so you have to, when you make these decisions, to reject culture, your culture, you know, you as a woman, you will be fined for it. And I mean that literally too. I mean, you do not receive your support if you don't have children. In a lot of ways, and then you don't get tax breaks, right? There's a lot of ways that you are punished, but if you say it that way, if you talk about it in terms of being punished, you'll get gaslighted. You see, it's all built in, this gaslight and this way to remind you of what you should have done, you know, because our culture has dictated it. We have all decided these are the ethics by which we will adhere to, right? These cultural ethics. These are not ethics that are natural. You know what I'm saying? This is not the righteousness of nature. This is based off of a false moral righteousness that is man-made, is constructed. And so whenever there's a constructed righteousness, it to me is a false morality. It's created by culture so that culture can continue to maintain its own status quo. And that's really what this is about. And what is status quo? It's power. Everything's about power. All things are about power. And so as women of color, even if you are not a woman of color, if you're a white woman, you know, whatever, think about the trappings of your culture. Like, what are they? What are the trappings of my culture? Because those things are real too, right? I'm coming at all of the work I do from an additive point of view, not a subtractive point of view, where it's like everybody's arguing about what's right and what's wrong, you know, what's evil, what's good, instead of pondering what else is true. This is true, but this is also true. And just because we don't like that that's true, that we don't like that truth, doesn't mean it's not true. It's hard to live in a culture that is so hyper self-centered, so deeply narcissistic, And I understand why, and this is not what this video is about. I really want to come on and talk about that too. And that's in my book. I mean, I'm fleshing a lot of these things out in my book too, which I'm writing. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm writing a book called Murdering Eve. And it looks like it's going to be a series of books. In fact, it's just like there's too much shit I want to put in it. So I think it has to be a series of books. If I look a little crazy, it's because I feel a little crazy. I've been deep in my process. I wish you could see my office. It's intense. So the trappings of culture. What is it that traps us as brown women, as black women, as white women, as red women, as yellow women? I was on the phone today with a very good friend of mine who is from Thailand originally, and she's going through this and feeling the shame of her from her family because she didn't marry somebody who's rich and have children. She wanted to follow her own way. So I wanted to talk about that here and just make a little video and say hi and ask you to consider the trappings of your culture. And how is your culture that are furthest hidden inside of the trappings of our cultures, right? Of our culture. So anyway, hope y'all are well. Wish me luck because I need it. I mean, I am deep in this primordial soup, y'all. Very deep. And stay right here. I'm going to be sharing more videos too. I just got to figure out the streaming and some sort of technical issues. But I really do hope that you guys are well. And please, in the comments, mention anything that you'd like to about this subject matter, the trappings of culture and your culture, and how we can find where it overlaps with all of us, right? From all of our different backgrounds as women, where and how does the trapping show up culturally for us? What is it we can't or can't do according to the culture? And I like to see where we all meet and overlap.